Alright, so in the last video we created our navigation bar and the showcase Jumbotron area. Now we're going to move on to the 3 columns that'll go underneath the showcase. So in the index HTML, under the Jumbotron div, we have a section tags. And when I'm building any HTML5 website or interface, I like to section things off and give them an ID. So I'm just going to give this an ID of, let's just say, I don't know, 3 calls. Okay, because that'll reference our 3 columns. Actually, let's just call it the middle, because we might change it to 4 columns later on. So what I want to do is create a container, because we want this content to be pushed to the middle. So we'll create a div container. Okay, and we're going to use the grid again here. So we want our row grid, our row div. And then inside there we want to have our columns. Okay, so div class, and what we're going to do is have 3 4-column divs. So they need to be 4 columns. So we'll say MD4. Alright, and then inside, actually let's just copy this. So that'll be our 3 columns. And we're going to have an image first of all. So image source, and that's going to be, I believe it's called demo 1. Yeah, demo 1 JPEG. Okay, demo 1 JPEG, and let's give it a class of demo. Next, we're going to want a heading, and it's going to actually be an H2. Okay, so we'll just say lorem ipsum. And I'm actually going to, just to get some sample content, I'm going to go to the Lipsum website. Okay, and just generate a few paragraphs. And I just want to copy maybe a sentence or 2. We'll just go to here. And I'm going to put that inside of a paragraph tag. And then under the paragraph we need a button or a link. Actually, when you're using Bootstrap, let me just go to the buttons page. Okay, so you can basically use a link. Okay, so an A tag with the class of BTN, and then the style, which is, in this case, is BTN default, which will give us a white button. Alright, so you don't actually have to have a button to use these, to have this kind of style. You can also do it on input tags. Alright, and if we scroll down, you can see a variety of colors here, and you can use these colors inside of the class name. Okay, so for instance, here we have button dash primary, and that's going to give us this blue color by default. Obviously, if you're creating a custom Bootstrap template, you can update the class to have whatever color you want for primary. But by default, it's blue, success is green, info is light blue, warning is yellow, and danger is red. And default is white. Okay, so those are the default classes and colors. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use the default. Okay, so let's just make this link go nowhere and give it a class. You want to remember that first BTN though too, because when I first started using Bootstrap, I'd always forget it. Okay, so it should be BTN and then BTN default. Alright, and then the text, we'll just say read more. Okay, and we can take a look at that. Did I save it? No, I didn't save it. Alright, so the first thing you probably notice is this image is huge. And the reason for that is it's actually breaking out of its div. You can see the div actually ends right here. Alright, now to fix this, all you need to do is make sure that you make this image have a width of 100%. If you have a width of 100%, it's going to take up 100% of its parent div, which ends like right here. Alright, so remember we have a class of demo, so in our style sheet we can just say demo and then just set the width to 100%. Okay, now if we go and reload, now it looks good because it's in its own parent div. It's not busting out. Alright, so that's what we want. Now I also want to add a border and a little bit of padding. Okay, so in the demo class, we'll say, we already did that. We want padding. So padding 3 pixels, and then border, we'll do 1 pixel solid and gray. And I like to, if it's an image, I like to just do image.demo just so we know that. Okay, just like right here, this Jumbotron, I'm going to say image.appButton. And then here. Alright, so that's all the images. Alright, so we'll save that, reload, and now you can see it has a border. Now I want to do this with all 3 columns, so we're just going to go ahead and copy. Okay, so we'll get from the image, the heading, paragraph, and button. Paste that in here, and here. And now, we just want to change the names of the images so they're not all the same image. So we have demo 1, demo 2, and demo 3. Okay, so that looks good. Now when I use the grid system, I usually like to give the row div a little margin on the top here, because you can see it's a little close. So I'm going to, actually, you know what? I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is add some padding to the top and the bottom of the section. Okay, so this is a section here. Alright, so I'm going to go and I'm going to put this at the top because it's kind of a global setting. So I'll say, whoops, I just want to do section, and we're going to say padding, and that's going to have 40 top, 0, 40 on the bottom, 0. Okay, so now you can see that it's pushed down. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the feature area, which is this green area. Okay, so in my HTML, we're going to do another section. I'm going to ID this one as features, or just feature. Okay, we want to have a container. And then inside the container, we're going to have a row. You'll be seeing this grid system a lot. It's basically, it helps with responsiveness and formatting, just formatting your pages on a mobile device or a tablet. So we want a div class. As far as the columns, now this is a little tricky because we want to have, we want it split down the middle. You can see like we have here, but we don't want them to be way over. We don't want this to be way over to the left, or this image to be way over to the right. And what we can do is set an offset. Alright, so if we look at the grid system,